Hello everyone. So we'll be watching this video about one YouTube channel called Cosmic Wonders. He's gonna be talking about the Avengers Doomsday plot story. So they believe this is gonna be their plot. So who knows if it's true or not? It seems like it could be true, but hopefully it's not because there's a lot of stuff to impact in this. So let's get started and watching this.
Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. Yesterday, Marvel did a huge announcement announcing half, or at least a part of, the cast for Avengers Doomsday. Yes, there is going to be more. A lot of fans have noticed that they didn't mention people like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They didn't reveal a chair for Brie Larson or Mark Ruffalo or Benedict Cumberbatch. People we know are going to be in this movie. But don't worry, it's already been confirmed that there's going to be another casting announcement. And today we have learned a lot of plot details about Avengers Doomsday, which does include a plan for the Avengers verse X-Men, which makes sense considering how many X-Men they have announced are going to be returning for Avengers Doomsday. We have learned so much since the announcement yesterday about the plot of Avengers Doomsday, and there's so much to break down. The Avengers vs. X-Men, Doctor Strange and Clea, what Doom is thinking right now, and specifically why our universe is about to deal with an incursion. And of course, another casting announcement that's coming, so let's break it all down. So as soon as the Marvel livestream event ended and Robert Downey Jr. was shown at the end, The Hollywood Reporter came out and said their sources told them that even with the 26 actors announced, Marvel is not done revealing the entire cast, although when and how another unveiling will occur is unknown at this point in time. And then on Instagram, Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel Studios basically confirmed that there's more to come as well, with Robert Downey Jr. stating that that's what you call a deep bench of talent. Actually, it's more like a row, but an extra long one. That must be it, right? And Marvel Studios, the official account, replied with, "There's always room for more." Confirming, more are going to be coming. Of course, we're going to get Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Mark Ruffalo's The Hulk is going to return, so fear not. And with the announcement of this already huge cast, everyone is wondering, well, how exactly is Marvel Studios going to handle this ginormous cast in one
And they're
movie?
gonna have more casts. I don't think it's gonna work just for 2 hours, maybe 3 hours or more. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
What is the plot going to be? Well, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus breaks it down in a recent article on thecosmiccircus.com. And yes, it does include a plot for the Avengers vs. X-Men. In fact, this article talks about a lot. The plot of Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, and of course, the X-Men and what he calls the final incursion. He even talks about some characters that are going to side with Doctor Doom. So let's dive into it. So talking about the final incursion, Alex says, we're about to see an incursion unfold for the first time on screen in Avengers Doomsday in real time, meaning we will see the incursion happen. We'll see the two universes collide. He says it's going to be between Earth 616, our main sacred timeline, and what he calls the divergent X-Men universe. He calls it the divergent X-Men universe because it's essentially going to be treated in the same fashion that Daredevil received. So it's all connected, but they're not really going to address anything that happened before. But it is connected, and all of these X-Men characters that we've seen in the past, the ones that have been announced and the ones that haven't, will basically all be from the Fox X-Men movies. Alex says, for general audience purposes, the main idea is that the Divergent X-Men universe is going to be the one that is set after the events of X-Men Days of Future Past, or rather a variant of that universe where similar events happened. This is how Rebecca Romijn's Mystique is able to return in the film. So anybody who was in that movie is basically fair game. And he does say that Jean Grey and Storm will be in the lineup of the X-Men as well. And it most likely will be Halle Berry and Famke Janssen who do return to play their roles. Now, one thing that's interesting is he says that Deadpool and Wolverine will be involved, but he's not sure if they're actually from that specific Days of Future Past universe. But he says they are coming back, obviously, and of course, so is Channing Tatum's Gambit. And he's heard that X-23, Elektra, and Wesley Snipes' Blade are also expected
I
to
always said
return.
to people like I knew the Fox universe was their own universe and Marvel MCU was their own universe. To do that collide to the like they're saying the concursion does make sense because I know before they bought Fox they were always saying that X-Men all them weren't connected. Sam's Raimi, Spider-Man, none of that. They were their own separate universe and kind of didn't make sense. They were their own universe, and now since Disney bought Fox, it makes more sense that they're colliding because they were their own different universe, and then MCU's universe. So does make sense.
He also kind of alluded a little bit to Nicolas Cage returning as Ghost Rider. So that's awesome. Now, as far as what is happening to cause an incursion to happen between these two universes, Alex says that it's because of Monica Rambeau and the post-credit scene for the Marvels. In the post-credit scene for the Marvels, Monica Rambeau woke up in a different universe, and there she saw Hank McCoy's Beast. And he mentioned Professor X. This is that X-Men universe, Days of Future Past universe that Alex is talking about. And she is the reason that the incursion between that universe and our universe is happening. And they did explain this in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They did say that when you're in a universe that you're not supposed to be in, it throws the universe off balance, and incursions happen that way. And it does make sense. She's in another universe, which pulls the universe that she is originally from towards that universe. According to Alex, she's going to team up with Lashana Lynch's Binary, who is Maria Rambeau, her mother, who we saw in that post-credit scene, to try and stop the incursions from happening. But while they're trying to find a way to reverse the polarity of the incursions between the two Earths already start happening. But here's the kicker. When it starts happening, they don't really know what's happening. They don't know about incursions. What they think is happening is that their world is being invaded by another world, and the only way to save theirs is to destroy the other. And this is coming straight from the comics. This is how it actually is. When an incursion happens, both universes will die unless one of them gets destroyed. So as you've probably guessed, this is going to lead to the Avengers vs. X-Men inside of Avengers Doomsday.
So it's going to be Avengers Doomsday, but they're saying they're going to have Avengers against X-Men. Does sound cool. Like, I did always wanted that. But I felt like it was going to take them a long time to do that, because since they own the rights to X-Men and all. And, but having X-Men, I mean, yeah, the X-Men versus the Avengers in Doomsday, I don't know. It's like, I thought the point is Doomsday, he's planning something big, but doing that's like, I don't know, it's just taking away, like, they could have their own movie saying the Avengers versus X-Men. They're gonna do their separate movies. If they're gonna put in X-Men fighting with Avengers in Doomsday, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a short fight, because they have to have other plans for it if they're gonna do that, because it's gonna take away the excitement. Because I don't know, I really haven't read any. I really don't read any of the comics. I only knew about Marvel and stuff because I watched the cartoon and stuff and the movies. But like I'm saying, for this it's like, I don't know, like, and then they're saying Sam Wilson's Captain America is gonna be leading the Avengers. I want to see the original Steve Rogers Captain America lead the Avengers to fight against the X-Men, because having him against Cyclops or Professor or someone like that would have been amazing.
This is what Alex actually calls the heart of the matter. He says this was apparently the purpose of the setup for the post-credit scene of Captain America 4 by the leader. This is what he was referring to. He claims that he may or may not have implanted that idea in Sam's head. So when the incursion happens, Sam Wilson will lead the Avengers and basically go toe-to-toe with the X-Men. And this is going to be the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline aspect of the Doomsday plot. And he did say that he's heard a rumor that this is where Savage Hulk is going to finally come back and take on Wolverine. So we finally could get that Wolverine.
That is badass. I love, everyone's been waiting for that. Wolverine versus the Hulk. But like I said, in Avengers Doomsday, they could have done their own separate movies. Hulk versus Wolverine, that would have made $1 billion if they did their own separate movies. Put it in the Doomsday, it's like, of course it's going to be like a 5-minute fight, at least. No way they're going to do like 30 minutes, because let's say if the movie's just 2 hours. If they do 3, they still wouldn't make it long enough fight for it. I don't know. Well, let's continue to see.
Versus the Hulk scene we've been dying to see, but in its full glory, in a full fight, not like what we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, although that was cool, they didn't actually fight. He says that the Avengers vs. the X-Men isn't going to be the whole movie. That's not what it's going to be about, but he compares it to the Avengers fighting the Hulk in the first Avengers film. So they'll dedicate some time to it, but it's just going to be one point of the film. And he says because of the incursion, we'll get to see the X-Men and the Brotherhood team up against the Avengers. And he also added, which I'm sorry, but the MCU's Avengers are so effing cooked in my opinion. And sure, depending on who shows up, the X-Men might be kind of OP, but I honestly don't care who wins. I just want to see it happen. Now, another subplot is Captain Marvel tying in Shang-Chi to the equation, plus connecting with the other Avengers. And this makes sense. He says Carol feels guilty about losing Monica, so she wants to bring her back. Obviously, she's doing everything she can to analyze the bangle and recreate the event that separated them, which Alex Perez says is really dangerous. So she enlists the help of Bruce Banner and Wong, which is how they tie into the Shang-Chi post-credit scene and how Shang-Chi gets tied into it. Meanwhile, Kamala Khan is on her recruitment journey to try and find young heroes for the Young Avengers team and is also on her own mission to use the bangle to try and find a way to get into that Earth safely to bring Monica home and stop the incursion.
I feel like they're just gonna add so much stuff in Avengers Doomsday. If they're gonna do like the Miss Marvel is gonna be looking for a team up for a Young Avengers, that's kind of too much. And plus, I feel like they don't have enough Young Avengers to make a team. Well, yeah, probably it's gonna be like what I want to say there's only 3 or 4, maybe 5, which is they don't seem all that great too. I feel like of course they're gonna probably add Spider-Man, and if it's Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop's the new Hawkeye. Who were the other Young Avengers? I guess America Chavez. That's only 4 I could think of. I don't know, man. It's like they're adding so much, but I don't know, bro. Who knows what is actually the real plot? Excuse me. I feel like it's just talk. We'll just see.
From happening. So that's how the Marvels gets tied into what is happening. That makes a lot of sense. Now, concerning the Fantastic Four, Alex doesn't say much, but he does say that the Fantastic Four are living happily in their own universe, except Reed toys around with the fabric of existence because he keeps trying to find other worlds. And he says that the smartest man alive, Reed Richards, being dumb is a common thread. So maybe he gets a little too careless messing around with the fabric of existence there. Now for Spider-Man, Strange and Clea, and Doom. He says Spider-Man doesn't want to deal with any of what is happening at all, but he gets forced into it anyways. He does hear that Spider-Man is going to finally get the symbiote suit.
They were gonna make him get the suit in Secret Wars. If they're gonna do it in Doomsday, like I'm telling you, they're adding so much in Doomsday. How is all that gonna fit in 2 hours? I don't think it'll even fit in 3 hours.
It is basically going to be the No Way Home final suit, but black and white. So that's awesome, and honestly, it does kind of make sense given everything that happened to him in Spider-Man No Way Home. Poor kid just wants a break, but of course, he still is Peter Parker and Spider-Man, so he's gonna join the fight. Now, Alex says that Doctor Strange and Clea get involved with Doom. So it sounds like that's going to be pretty similar to what happens in the comics as Doctor Doom and Molecule Man are going around trying to essentially save the multiverse. Eventually they realize they can't, and Doctor Strange joins them at the end, and Doctor Doom says, "We can't save it all, so isn't it better, rather than saving nothing, we save just one thing?" And Doctor Strange ultimately agrees, so perhaps that's going to be his role with him and Clea. And in the leaked concept art that we saw for Avengers Doomsday / Secret Wars, we did see Doom on his throne, presumably in Battleworld, and we did see Sheriff Strange, Doctor Strange, on his side. So this all makes sense. Now, as far as Doom's role, Doom thinks he's the hero. New mask, same task, saving the universe, or in this case, the entire multiverse. He says that he hates and blames Kang and the TVA. The final part of the movie is all roads lead to the TVA. Full-on variant multiversal war erupts inside of the TVA, and that sounds freaking dope. He does say that Loki is the MacGuffin, or the plot device that drives the entire story pretty much, but ultimately kind of becomes irrelevant to the entire meaning of it. We'll have to see what he means by that. And he did say that Sylvie is as tragic as a Shakespeare play, which could mean that Sylvie dies, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, Alex has actually mentioned many of these points before in the past over time, but he actually mentioned now that the cast has been announced, it seems like everything else that he has heard is true. So this is probably what we really are looking at to be the actual plot of Avengers Doomsday. And I gotta say, it actually sounds really good. It sounds like it's gonna tie everything in together pretty well. We have the multiverse, we have the TVA, we have the post-credit scene of the Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine with the X-Men, that all checks out. I mean, I actually think if this is what the movie is gonna be, it's all going to be handled very, very well. And I'm super excited for this. And the cast is going to be absolutely huge. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below.
Like I said, that's gonna be a lot just to put in one film. I know they're doing so much just to bring their fans back, but I know there's another thing as watching this earlier. There were fans were complaining that they don't have enough women in Doomsday, but I know they're saying they're trying to announce more cast later on. Who knows when? But so they're just complaining because they only have total 5 women right now. Because a total 27, so there's 22 dudes and 5 women. Um, but like I said, they still have a lot more to announce. So it sounds like probably the the Marvels character are gonna come back. The excuse me, a few of the X-Men women will be in there as well. And so I don't know why they're complaining. They like they said there's still a few more casts to announce, so they still have a lot more casts. So I don't know how's that gonna work. That's gonna be a lot to impact in this, and just to pay all these actors, that's gonna be a lot of money. So they're expecting they have to make billions of dollars for Avengers Doomsday. So who knows? Who knows if they'll bring the whole old fan back for this? But I don't know. I feel like it's just mixed on this. It's still mixed for me. Like I said, I did hear like the few of the cast who are complaining that there's not enough women because they're not bringing the women who were like in the shows and all, like Agatha, She Hulk, and all that. Like, like, excuse me. Marvel has been there has been few women like there hasn't been much women in like for example the first Avenger, it was only Black Widow. There's only been Black Widow, and no one hasn't been complaining about that until now that everything's gone kind of so woke. Well, really woke for Disney. They try to push so much with the female heroes, which in reality is not. People aren't too much fan of it. They're only big fans of like the male cast. Like I'm not saying there's. I hate the female characters. I do love Storm. I do love Jean Grey. Um, Sue Storm. Like there's few that are amazing. I'm not saying they're bad and all, but for the new characters, I want to say that people aren't fan because like people don't like the Miss Marvel. Says they're doing Ironheart. I know a lot of people aren't really liking that. So because those are like comics that didn't do so good, and yet those characters that people hated so much, Kevin's forcing it to push it in making Marvel movies and shows. So the audience aren't really asking for that. They're asking for something on their favorite characters. Make a good film, good plot and everything, and don't push anything of the woke stuff. But yet they're doing the opposite.